I don't know about y'all, but I'm down to hear some more lies.
Gracias por ver la esquina de Jody. Thank you for watching Jody's Corner.
YouTube was good. It's your boy Jody Joe. Welcome to Jody's Corner. This is your daily news for Wednesday, June 15th, 2022. Amber Heard Part 2 interview is going down, so let's make it go down. And here's some of this blasphemy.
There's a text message where Johnny promises total global humiliation for you. Do you feel like that came true?
There it is. Lie. Trash acting. Force the tears out.
Promised it.
You can bring the tears out. You can bring them out.
I testified to this. I'm not a good victim. I get it. I'm not a likable victim. I'm not a perfect victim. But when I testified, I asked the jury to just see me.
Oh, we see you.
Human and hear his own words, which is a promise to do this. It feels
All that acting.
as though he has.
Amber Heard reflecting on the ripple effects of her tumultuous trial with Johnny Depp.
Having been found liable, are you nervous, as we are here today, about what you can say now?
Of course. I took for granted what I assumed was my right to speak.
Do you feel like you could be sued again by him for defamation?
I'm scared that no matter what I do, no matter what I say or how I say it, every step that I take will present another opportunity for this sort of silencing, which is what I guess a defamation lawsuit is meant to do. It's meant to
For
take
sure.
your voice.
For
But
sure.
Amber is still speaking, just days after a jury stunned many and found the actress defamed
Trash
Depp
sister.
in an op-ed where she said she was a public figure representing domestic abuse.
Try to get
The
behind
piece,
it.
which never mentioned Depp by name, was published 2 years after the couple announced they had settled their divorce.
Life had seemingly moved on, and you decide to write an op-ed. Why did you do that?
Because the op-ed wasn't about my relationship with Johnny.
But it alluded to him. It was unmistakable.
You know, what the op-ed was about was, me loaning my voice to a bigger cultural conversation that we were having at the time.
Did you worry? Gosh, I'd love to be a person weighing in on these cultural issues, but that's going to stir this all up again.
I obviously knew
Good
it was important for
questions,
me not
Savannah.
to make it about him or to do anything like defame him. I had lawyers, teams of lawyers, review all the drafts of this.
When you wrote this op-ed, it was the height of Me Too. Legions of powerful men being canceled, losing their jobs. Did you want that to happen to Johnny Depp?
Of course not. Of course not. It wasn't about him.
When you wrote this op-ed, it was the height of Me Too. Legions of powerful men being canceled, losing their jobs. Did you want that to happen to Johnny Depp?
Tell the truth, you lying scallywag.
Of course not. Of course not. It wasn't about him.
But the op-ed and the abuse alleged was at the heart of the 6-week trial.
Holy shit.
Pulls his arm back with the phone and throws it at my face. Hit me right in it felt like my eye.
Heard testified that the final straw came after a violent fight in May 2016. 6 days later, she filed for a restraining order, cameras capturing her as she left the courthouse. But Depp's lawyers convinced the jury Heard was lying about the abuse. Police who responded to the 2016 incident testified during the trial that they didn't see any injuries and that Heard declined to file charges.
This was a hoax, according to his team. Why didn't I cooperate with the police? As I've testified before, and I will stand by until my dying day, I didn't want to cooperate with them. I didn't want this to be out. I didn't want this to be known. want to cooperate with them because I didn't want this to be, I didn't want to get him.
You set up fake bruises on your face, waited for him to be out of the country to do a tour, went to the press court, called TMZ, told him to be at the court, and which side of the face to show it, and then you posed for the picture. Bitch, you ain't shit.
Him in trouble. If it was a hoax, I could have done that.
But 5 days later, you went to court and it came out.
5 days later, I made the decision to stand up for myself and protect myself. You can't get a restraining order in private, which of course I didn't understand the night when the cops were called.
An employee of TMZ testified
Get
at
her.
court and said
Get her.
that TMZ was tipped off
Get
about
her.
when you were going to be going to the courthouse and on what side of your face bruises would be apparent. Did you tip off TMZ?
I was going to say, he certainly didn't get tipped off by me or
Did
anyone in
anyone
my...
you know tip off TMZ?
Why would they? No.
You asked no one to do that.
As I testified to before, it had nothing to do with me.
Like, I feel like she needs to take a trip to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. And I'm not talking about the Johnny Depp one, sadly. I'm talking about the Gene Wilder one. She reminds me of, I want it now, but I want it now. She never got to turn into a rotten egg and go, down that chute. She didn't learn that life lesson as a little girl. She just got everything she wanted, lied and manipulated on people, and just lived through life and grew up into a raging, flaming dragon. That's exactly who the freak she is, bro. As a kid, she needed to get that belt. Because she, no home training right here. Just straight savagery at display.
Different incidents that you testified to, and the Depp legal team would put up pictures of you publicly right after that or in the days following and saying that why are there no bruises?
Again, it's that thing. If you have bruising, if you have injuries, it's fake. If you don't have any, then you weren't injured.
You had promised to donate the $7 million of your divorce settlement to charity. It was revealed at trial that...
Are you about to ask that question? Are you about to press her on this, Savannah? God dang, Savannah putting in her Camille in this motherfucker. What's happening?
You haven't done so yet. However, they played a tape where you stayed on the air that you have donated it. Do you think that raised questions as to your credibility with the jury?
I made a pledge, and that pledge is made over time by its nature. And
When you say I donated, you know that everybody thinks that you've donated it, not that you've pledged it. So for the jurors sitting there, do you think they felt like that
You're a
was
liar.
getting caught in a lie?
Yes.
I don't know, because so much of I feel like so much of the trial was meant to cast aspersions on who I am as a human, my credibility, to call me a liar in every way.
That's because you freaking are a liar. And that's exactly what trials are for. And that's exactly what the courtroom's for. To make you look like a liar because you lie. That's exactly, we call that justice in this country.
You can, and
That was the trial. It was a credibility contest.
and
That was it.
This is another one of the examples where if you pull back and
Savannah,
you think
what's
about it, I
happening?
shouldn't have to have donated it in an effort to be believed. I shouldn't have had to earmark the entirety of that in order to have.
You shouldn't have, but once you said you did.
Right, which is where it was intended to go.
Heard says she still plans to honor that pledge.
How do you
You
see
ain't
your
honoring
future
shit.
now?
I get to be a mom, like full time, where I'm not having to juggle
She's pregnant?
calls
Got a baby?
with lawyers.
One day you may.
I didn't even know she was pregnant, yo. Where does baby come from, bro? She got pregnant? Oh my God. I pray that that child comes up unaffected by her mother. As hard as that is, like putting your hand into some freaking Jello and coming out clean. I hope. Well, actually, if you put your hand into some cold Jello, it can come out clean. Like putting your hand into some wet paint and it coming out clean. That's how hard it's going to be. But it's possible if we make precautions. That poor child growing up in the household where that bitch calls shots and says what reality and what right and wrong is. Oh my God, that child. Oh no. Child Protective Custody Services. Child Protective Custody Services. Child Protective Custody Services.
Want to tell your daughter about this or have to tell your daughter about everything that you've
Oh,
gone
she gonna
through,
see.
what would you
Mommy's a liar.
want to say?
I think no matter what, it will mean
Not the
something.
mama. That's what she gonna say. Not the
I
mama.
did the right thing. I did everything I could to stand up for myself and the truth.
Heard and Depp's volatile relationship lasted just 4 years. Depp confirming his engagement to me on Today in 2014.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Are you excited?
Yeah, very. She's a wonderful girl. She's sharp as a tack, wonderful, Southern belle, and sweet as can be, and very good for me.
On the first day of the
Oh, Johnny, we all make mistakes and we're all wrong every now and then. My dude, you're wrong. She's very good for me. It's crazy when you go back and look at that shit, right? It's wild.
trial, you issued a statement, and part of the statement said, "I still have love for Johnny."
Yes,
Is that still true?
yes,
After everything?
absolutely. Absolutely. I love him. I loved him with all my heart. And I tried the best I could to make a deeply broken relationship work. And I couldn't. I have no bad feelings or ill will towards him at all. I
just
know
want
that
to
might
allow you and cancel you and take your money. No ill will,
be
though.
hard to understand, or it might be really easy to understand. If you've just ever loved anyone, it should be easy.
Depp's attorneys have said they do not see the verdict in this case as a setback to victims of domestic violence coming forward. Heard's legal team has said they do plan to appeal this summer. Quick note, we will...
You're crazy as shit. You're going to appeal with the interview that she's been doing. Y'all crazy as heck. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you got to see Amber Heard once again. Just more lies, more deceit. It's really not about learning new information. I'm not covering this shit to learn new information. Why? What I got to learn new from a liar? You just take everything that they say and throw it in the trash can. The entertaining part is watching her lie, watching that face struggle, looking at that. That is what gives me pleasure, seeing the liar in action so I can laugh at it and be amused by it. That's what we're doing here. No one's believing what she's saying here. I'll be here for the next part of the interview, and it's just a sad case overall when you just really look at it. In other news, looks like Warner Brothers Discovery is going to be cutting some jobs. Yep, Warner Brothers Discovery is going to be cutting 30% of 1,000 jobs when it comes to the marketing. There's over 3,000 jobs in worldwide global marketing for Warner Brothers, and Discovery CEO David Zaslav, he wants to trim the fat. He wants to save on cost spending. And his goal for coming into this merger is to save $3 billion in unnecessary spending. And sadly, this here is part of the $3 billion in unnecessary spending as he sees it. 30% of nearly 1,000 jobs, or nearly 1,000 jobs in his global advertising sales team. They're going to be looking for new work. It's one of those things, man. You gotta sometimes these corporate jobs be like that, and they're offering some of the employees to leave voluntarily. So like, if you guys want to just quit, or you want to leave, now's a chance to leave. So we don't gotta make the hard decision. But who the freak is gonna do that? And then they mentioned nothing about severance pay or anything like that. Like, oh, if you leave, we'll hook you up with a nice severance package. None of that. Sad, man. In other news, can you believe that Netflix is creating a real-life Squid Games game show type of thing? Yes. They're investing, and they're going to be creating Squid Games in real life, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, they're no joke. I ain't lying. The 10-episode production will pit 456 people against each other in games inspired by the show, as well as new events. No one is dying here, thankfully, but there's still a good reason for entrants to preserve to the end, because the winner receives a whopping $4.56 million. Squid Game in real life. Netflix. They're actually bringing out Squid Game in real life, 10 episodes, 4.56 million, 456 people fighting. They're going to be using games from the actual game, and they're going to be putting in their own little swag and their own little flavor to it. I'm there day one. I'm going to react to each episode. That's going to be some really good TV. Netflix has been bleeding subscribers for the last couple of months. Their stocks are down, and we need to get them back up. And this is exactly something that could actually do that. Shout out to Netflix for making up a good idea. In other news, goodbye Internet Explorer. Internet Explorer is out of there, ladies and gentlemen. Today is the last day for Internet Explorer to live. You guys remember that logo right there? Remember when we only had options for that logo, a Netscape? Remember that? It's over. After over 25 years of Internet Explorer being Microsoft's default browser, they have the Microsoft Edge now that's been around since 2015. They decided to let go of Internet Explorer. Nobody uses that shit. Every single time we get a new PC or a laptop or something like that, we don't even click Internet Explorer. It boots up on its own. We close that app and we go look for some Firefox, or we'll look for some Google Chrome or something like that. Internet Explorer has been whacked. I ain't used that motherfucker since I was in high school. Get rid of the Internet Explorer. Rest in peace. Thank you for nothing. In other news, this right here is a crazy story. I talked about this on Jody's Corner live, but I know a lot of people didn't get the chance to see that unless you was live. By the way, I'm live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 5 p.m. This is so ridiculous, bro. Y'all need to watch out for the hook, y'all. Watch out who you dating, who you having sex with. Watch out, because it could cost y'all some money. And Geico is really hot because they were just ordered to pay $5.2 million to a woman who contracted HPV from a man inside his car. And she made his car insurance pay for her medical bills and future punitive damages. Oh, you heard that right the first time. A woman and a man who were dating had sex in a car. He gave her HPV. He knew he had HPV, which causes genital warts. And he gave it to her in that scene in the car. She found out she had the genital warts and he knew about it. She sued his insurance, not his medical insurance. She didn't sue him. She sued his car insurance for negligence and knowing that he had HPV and it happened in the car. That was wild. She won. She won. They say that insurance negligently caused or contributed to cause MO to be infected with HPV by not taking proper precautions and neglecting to inform and disclose the diagnosis despite having knowledge of his condition, the opinion wrote. They asserted that her then boyfriend's car insurance policy covered her injuries and losses in a claim in 2021. Geico turned down her claim and she took the matters to an arbitrator who found the insured negligently infected MO with HPV and awarded her $5.2 million in damages. That's your Jody's Corner news for today, Wednesday, June 15th. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Hope you guys click that subscribe button to get more of the daily news. I'm Jody Joe, and I'm out this thing. Deuces.